Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today is day 4 of our love challenge. We are almost there. We have one more day left. Today is special. And the reason I say that is because I feel like today it's the fourth layer of the foundation. I really believe that when you start to go through the process of forgiveness, when you're building unconditional love, when you're building and improving your communication, and you add self control, I believe this takes your relationship to another level. And I believe that once you really start working in these 4 areas, you can now begin to kind of build your home and build your house, right? And when you build on that, because you have a strong foundation, everything above it is going to stand that much better. Self control. So, self control is basically having control of yourself, right? Of your words, of your body language, of your actions, the things that you do, and the things that you're thinking, right? I think sometimes we leave out our thoughts in self control. And that's one area that I'm going to focus in because that was my biggest struggle. I lived in my head so much. When our relationship for 4 years, we struggled. We were going to therapy, counseling, accountability, and for 4 years, I was very unhappy. I was struggling. I was just upset and disappointed to where our relationship had gotten to. And I started living in my head. I started just kind of blocking things out and just envisioning this wonderful life without my husband. And that really took me to a bad place. And while having hopes and dreams and looking into your future, just wanting good for yourself is great. Visualization is something that is absolutely wonderful when you're using it in a positive way. But when you're allowing negative thoughts, or they might be positive thoughts, but in a negative way, because, for example, I shouldn't have necessarily been thinking of life without my husband or with a perfect man that I created in my head to think that there would be a perfect man out there that's not existent, right? That was a negative way of taking my thoughts. And the reality is that our thoughts, and I believe we can truly manifest and create things in our head and visualize and dream, and things will come true. They will start to happen because it's the direction that we take our life in. It's the direction that we start to move in when it's something that we really truly want and desire. We start to get the ball rolling. And I started that ball rolling, which is really the reason I believe that I did move out and we got separated and I filed for divorce and we almost got divorced. And the way that I started going down this road, I remember I would listen to sad songs or I would listen to women empowerment songs that, there's nothing wrong with it, but we have to be careful with what we allow, what we listen to, what we hear, what we allow to enter into our minds and our thoughts and we have our conscious mind, our subconscious, and so many times we don't realize that that stuff is in our subconscious mind and it's working on us because we're just kind of thinking and operating in the conscious mind. So I was listening to music and then I would talk to people and, oh, could you believe this or could you believe that? And then there are those people that will encourage you or give you some positive thoughts and advice. And then there's those people that will not. They're going to add fuel to the fire and give you advice that really isn't best for you. So all of these things fall into this category of self-control because it's things that we allow, and we are the ones that can control whether they come or they enter into our lives or they don't. So I got to a place that I realized I was not being present. I was missing out really in my reality because I was so busy thinking about what wasn't a reality. And I came to a place that I no longer wanted to live like that. I saw how it started really a downward spiral, and I started behaviors that I would have never started had it not been for my thoughts, which turned into my actions. So I want you to explore today, start to look at through your life, throughout your life, and do like a declutter. Go through and look at areas that you might be watching, listening, hearing, talking, speaking, doing things that you're lacking self control, that you're allowing these other things to control you. I got to a point, and I've heard this a lot, I've heard Tony Robbins say this: if you don't control your mind will control you. So I just got to a place that I didn't no longer wanted to allow my mind to control me. And I wanted my actions and my choices to be intentional. So I started practicing self-control. I stopped listening to certain music. I deleted stations off my Pandora. I stopped talking to certain people because I knew their responses and advice would not be good. I stopped at the thoughts in my head. Anytime that a thought would enter into my head of someone perfect or something better than what I had, I stopped it immediately. And I took my present life and I used that and recreated something for this life that would be better, but like setting goals for my life versus trying to create something that wasn't real. I basically went through and looked at areas that I needed to get rid of the junk, right? So that I could make room for true love, for joy, for peace, because there really wasn't peace when I was stuck in that. So take some time, evaluate where you are with self control. Also, looking at we talked about communication. Sometimes when we lack self control and we're yellers and screamers, or we're just very reactive, you're going to find that now your love is operating in fear. People around you don't want to talk to you, or they're very hesitant to say something because you're just going to react. And it's like just waiting for the explosion, right? So, again, if that's you, how can you gain control of your words, your actions, and how you're reacting or responding to the people around you, to your spouse, to your husband, to your wife, to your children? So take some time, go through, do like an evaluation of where you're lacking self-control, where you need to gain control back in your life, and take some time out to do that. Sometimes you find that these loop around, like you might examine some areas and find, whoa, I'm doing XYZ and I've been hurting people, and now I need to loop back to forgiveness and ask for forgiveness for hurting somebody in this way because I'm just realizing this, and then kind of going back around through this process of how do I improve the communication with that? How do I show unconditional love? And so that's why these 4 days are really foundational. And I think if you kind of look back at these 4 areas, it's going to really help your marriage grow in a really big way. So I hope this serves you once again today. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message. All right, guys, much love to you all, and I'll see you tomorrow for our last day. Day 5 is tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye-bye.